Hello, hello. If you're seeing this, I'm assuming that you have found this video checking out my website. Thank you for that. And I'm just going to introduce myself. So my full legal last name is Ketchum Raftery. Ketchum is my maiden name, and then when I got married, I just tacked on Raftery. But I mostly just go by Raftery. So you can call me Mrs. Raftery or Mrs. R. And also, since I will be working in a school that has actually a Mrs. Ketchum, I'm not related to this Mrs. Ketchum, which was funny because she was my mentor teacher in the spring, but no relation. So to help remember my name, you can think of it this way: Raft-er-E. And again, I am also totally fine going by Mrs. R. I say this because there is another last name that is not my last name that some people get confused with the restaurant or the singer. It is not Rafferty, it is Raftery, Raftery, or Mrs. R. So my background, I actually graduated from East Central. And if you recognize Mrs. Trossman, she's in this picture. She was my academic team coach, which she still coaches academic team. I graduated from Purdue University. I studied English literature and professional writing with a minor in anthropology. Notably, I did not study education when I was in undergrad. After I graduated from Purdue, I lived in Japan for 2 years. This on the map shows where I was living in Shiranuka up in Hokkaido. That's the northernmost prefecture. And I was an ALT, assistant language teacher, helping the students there learn English. I got to do a ton of fun stuff, including like cultural activities. So in the first picture here, I'm pounding mochi. In the second picture, that was the Itsukushima Shrine Festival. So I just got to be involved in a ton of fun stuff when I was in Japan. And if you're wondering, I do speak a little Japanese. I would say I'm conversational, so I can talk about like my favorite hobbies and travel plans, things like that. But it was always really hard when it was something a little more advanced, like talking about work stuff, like my work contract, or talking to my landlord. That was definitely a challenge when I was living there. So after I came back from Japan, I did the transition to teaching program at Ball State. Oops, it says bus. Well, I'm not going to redo this whole presentation. Sorry. BSU, Ball State University, which most of you guys probably are familiar with. So I finished that. At the time of recording, I'm technically finishing up like my last week, but by the time anyone's watching this, I'll be done with my transition to teaching program. But this fall, I will still be taking online classes because I also want to earn my master's in secondary education. So during my first year of teaching, I will still be a student taking classes, so I will be working very hard this year. And I live in Batesville with my husband and our cats. I actually need to update this because we got another cat since then, but this is a Mabel. The other cat I have is Fern, and she is a tiny black cat. And you can see based on the size of the picture of my husband versus the picture of my cat, how my priorities sort of lie. And last, my hobbies. Of course, I'm into reading. Is anyone surprised that the English teacher likes reading? I also do crochet, although I'm really beginner at it. I really enjoy bird watching and cooking. I'm kind of a homebody, so a lot of that is like grandma hobbies. Yes, guys, I like grandma maxing, okay? But I also like to go out in nature, and that's like bird watching, hiking, stuff like that. So this is the end of the presentation. Just a little fun fact for you. This is the red-crowned crane, which only lives in about 3 or 4 locations in the whole world, one of which was the town Shiranuka, where I lived. In East Asian sort of culture, they are symbolic for good fortune and long life. And they are my favorite bird. So thank you for listening. If you stop by my website, thank you for checking it out. That's all. Bye.